The Buffalo Bills are one of the more intriguing teams in this NFL draft. They've got a buttload of draft capital, but a really good roster that could contend for a Super Bowl as early as next year. This is a roster that continuously seems to be falling short. What moves can Buffalo make to get past the Kansas City Chiefs and get into the Super Bowl? That's what we're going to be attempting to do, as we are doing a 7-round Buffalo Bills mock draft. I'm really excited about this one. Bills fans are super passionate about this team, and I'd love to hear from you guys down in the comments. What do you like about this draft? What would you have changed? Would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you are new, and check out my Patreon page, which I will leave linked in the description below. It's $5 a month, and you guys will get exclusive access to my in-depth draft guide and big board with over 500 different prospects, evaluations, scouting reports, player stats, combine and pro day numbers, and so much more. So if you want more information on every prospect that we talk about in today's video, that's the place to go, and it's linked in the description. But I don't want to waste any more of your time. Let's kick this off with the Buffalo Bills. So here at pick 30, I'm not thinking twice about the move that I want to make. I want to go on the interior of the defensive line. And this is a really interesting spot because you really have two different types of players here. You've got Walter Nolan, who I absolutely love in this class. He's one of my favorite players. He's 6'3", 296, very good athleticism that has some really good upside as one of these high pass rush, 3-tech type of defensive tackles that you never really seem to have enough of in this league. I think he's a really good prospect in that regard, and a guy that's going to make a difference right away, not just as a pass rusher, but as a run defender. I think he's a very good player. But when I look at this Buffalo depth chart, I don't think that's the type of defensive tackle that they need. This is a team that has struggled to stop the run, and they don't really have a big body in the middle to stuff the run, clear run gaps, and I just don't think they have that guy. And Tyleik Williams, you could argue, is the best run stuffer in the entire class. He's 6'3", 334 pounds, phenomenal size with good explosiveness off the line, and like I mentioned, he just knows how to stop the run. He plays with power. He can split double teams. You'd like to see a little bit more improvement as a pass rusher, but what he can do in the run defense area is phenomenal. I like his game. And for Buffalo, I think that's the type of player that you need. I don't think you could trade back and get this type of guy either, because I think Kansas City could take him. I think Cleveland could take him. So I'm going to stick and pick here and take Tyleik Williams at 30, a guy that has a borderline first-round grade for me. I think is a perfect fit for what Buffalo wants to do on the defensive line. He's big, he's powerful, and he stops the run at a very high level. I know they brought in Michael Hoyt. I know they brought in Larry Ogunjobi. You still got to get younger at that position, and Tyleik Williams is a no-brainer for me here at pick 30. So a player that I really want in this class for Buffalo is starting to slip down boards a little bit, and I want to jump a couple of teams here to go get him. So we're going to move up 13 spots in this draft. So it's a big move for us. We're trading pick 56, pick 109, and a future third-round pick in exchange for pick 43 and 138. We're going to get some more important draft capital here, move up, and go get a player that I really like down the board. And that player that I had in mind for Buffalo is going to be Florida State cornerback Azareye'h Thomas. This is a team that, look, they've got good corners. I like Christian Benford. They traded Kaiir Elam, but I don't really think they have that true number one lockdown guy. I think Azareye'h Thomas can be that. A lot of the corners started flying off the board here. You look at Darian Porter. He went just a few picks prior. Savon Ravel, Benjamin Morrison. He's not going to fall to us. And this is a guy that's young, he's athletic, and he's got the traits that you look for at the cornerback position. He's 6'1", 191 pounds, 77.25-inch wingspan. He's one of the best press corners in this entire draft class. He plays with great physicality, fluid hips, great change of direction, and a guy that I think can be a really good contributor for this aggressive Buffalo Bills defense. On top of that, I really like what he can do at terms of speed. He's fast. I would like to see him be a better tackler, improve the ball skills. Play strength has been up and down for him, but look, at pick 43, you got to move up a little bit to go get him, but I think he's worth the price to pay, especially if you're getting a starting corner at 43, a position that I think is a need for them. So we moved a little bit of capital, but we get a really good football player. I'm going to take Azareye'h Thomas at 43. So we're going to make another trade here. This time we're going to move down. We got pick 62. We're going to trade them, the Jacksonville Jaguars, who want to move up, pick 62 and 170 in exchange for pick 70 and 107. So turning a 5th rounder into a 4th rounder, just moving back 8 spots is a no-brainer to me. There's some good prospects on the board. I want to see the way the board falls a little bit more before I pull the trigger, so I'm going to make this move Jacksonville. Here at pick 70, I want to go get an edge rusher because you got Greg Rousseau. You brought in Joey Bosa on a 1-year deal, but he has not proven to stay healthy. I think this team just needs some more firepower off the edge. And man, the way the board fell leaves me with a tough spot because I love Josiah Stewart, Oluwafemi Oladejo, and Kyle Kennard. If we're going strictly off my board, Oladejo is the top guy on the board here. He's 6'2", 261, great run defender, a little bit more of a project type of guy. And I don't know if Buffalo wants that. Josiah Stewart's the guy I'm going to ultimately go with for them because I think he brings them a new dynamic to this pass rush that they don't have, and that he is a guy that can just be a flamethrower for you. He's incredibly explosive off the edge, great speed, great power in his game as well. He's 6 foot, 248, and just the bend, the ability to use his crackdown speed and run defense. He's a hard hitter, coverage upside. He's a designated pass rusher that I think this team is looking for. He is undersized, has his inconsistencies in run defense, and can struggle to disengage with blockers at times. But if you know it's a true passing down, I think you can put Josiah Stewart on the field. He's going to be able to get after the quarterback. This is a guy that had stupid production this past year for Michigan. 27.3% pass rush win rate, which is ridiculous. 9 sacks. He knows how to get after the quarterback. He's a very good football player. And for Buffalo, just continuing to beef up the defense, I think, is the area that I want to improve. I'm going to go Josiah Stewart here at pick 70. Here at pick 107, I'm going to go with the guard here, and I don't think this is like a pressing need right away, but I think adding depth on the offensive line is always important. And the way the board fell, I think there's some really talented guys on the board. I'm looking at Jackson Slater from Sacramento State as the player here. One of my favorite interior players in the draft class. I did my interior rankings just the other day, so be sure to check that out if you haven't. But a guy that's 6'3", 320 pounds, he's athletic, moves really well with good anchor, very strong, solid in pass protection, and a guy that can climb to the second level as a pass blocker. Does have some inconsistencies in terms of hand placement and control issues, but he's a good athlete, he's a good run blocker, and he's been a good pass protector. Only allowed 3 pressures on 639 snaps. You got David Edwards right now. He's a fine left guard for you, but I think you can start looking towards the future. Jackson Slater, I think, is a really good option for you, a guy that I think could be a long-term starter in this league. And at pick 107, I think it's good value to take a guy here that I really love. So we're going to take Jackson Slater here at pick 107 of the Buffalo Bills. At pick 132, I'm going to go linebacker. Now, I don't love it because I think this team has good linebacker depth, but Matt Milano, getting up there in age, he's battled some injuries. You extended Terrell Bernard. Dorian Williams hasn't necessarily shown that he could be a long-term starting linebacker. I know you drafted Edifon Ulofoshio last year, but Jeffrey Boss is on the board, and I'm going to take him here at pick, where are we at? 132. I just like everything he does. He's 6'1", 226 pounds. I think he's a solid athlete with good coverage upside. I think he's got that ability to move well in the open field with good hips, change of direction, comes downhill crashing as a run defender, and he doesn't have the greatest length in the world. He does struggle to set the edge at times in the run game and can freeze as a run defender at times. But they've taken some of these shots on these really athletic linebackers, and while Boss is not a bad athlete, I think going and getting the more heady, smart linebacker is the right move for this team. There's some good players on the board. I like Danny Stutzman. I like Smile Mondin, but Bossa is the top linebacker left on the board for me. So that's going to be my move here at 132. Here at pick 138, a ton of different ways that we could go, but I think safety is the way I'm going to look. You got DeMar Hamlin slotted to start at safety, and while, great story, I don't know that he's a great starting safety. You drafted Cole Bishop last year. There's some good options here on the board. RJ Mickens is criminally underrated on the board. I'm looking at him here because I think he can play more of that strong safety role for you and be a long-term option for you. He's 6 foot, 207 pounds, one of the better speedy athletes in this class. I think he's a hard hitter. He's got versatility to play free, can play strong, can play in the box. He's a hard hitter, super sticky in man-to-man coverage. And I think he's an older safety, which is why he's not being viewed as a ton. Does struggle to get off blocks, and he just bounces off of blockers at times. But he's just an overall smart player. High football IQ, played a ton of snaps for an elite program down in Clemson. And he makes a lot of sense for what Buffalo wants to do. I don't think he is getting out of the top 150. I think he's too low on the consensus board. This is a guy that is going to be a borderline top 100 guy for me. I like Caleb Branshaw a lot as well. He is my top ranked safety in the class left on the board. I just don't really think that's the type of guy that Buffalo would go for. I think Mickens is more up their alley. So he's going to be my pick here at 138. Again, don't pay attention to where he's at on the consensus board. This is a guy that I really, really love that is going to end up being a top 100 guy borderline for me. So I'm going to take him at 138. Here at 154, I'm going to make a slight trade up here. There's a player that I really like as a fit for this Buffalo offense that ends up falling a little bit past where I think he could go. So I'm going to trade up 15 spots to ensure that we land that player. We're giving up 206 in the process. Ultimately not too worried about it. We're going to move up and go get our guy. And that player that I have my eye on here at 154 is going to be Tennessee wide receiver Dante Thornton. I like what Buffalo has done adding receivers. They brought in Joshua Palmer. They got Keon Coleman last year. But if you look at the wide receiver depth chart, Khalil Shakir, Curtis Samuel, a lot of the guys they have are more those slot receivers. And I don't think they've got another option on the boundary. Dante Thornton is the perfect complement to Keon Coleman, and with a guy like Josh Allen could really thrive. This is a deep ball threat. Phenomenal speed, phenomenal deep ball route runner, and a guy that I think is going to be an impact player as that go ball type of receiver. Really good frame for the position. This is a guy that's 6'4", 205 pounds, ran a 4.3 flat at the combine. Great size, great speed. He's not an overall great route runner yet, but I think just as a fit with Josh Allen, who loves to throw these deep balls, he's a really good contested catch option. He makes a lot of sense for them. I think he's worth moving up for, taking a chance on here in the 5th round because the athleticism is very rare. The movement skills are elite. And with a guy like Josh Allen, I think you could really capitalize on what he could be. So I'm going to go Dante Thornton here at pick 154. Here at pick 173, I'm going to go another offensive lineman. You can never have too many tackles, and that's kind of my motto here. And right tackle, you got Spencer Brown, who's playing at a phenomenal level. Behind him, you got Ryan Van DeMark. Yeah, I think you can go get another option here. I really like the option of a Johnny Cornelius here. If he's on the board, I think he's worth taking a chance on. He's 6'4", 319 pounds. A guy that started his collegiate career at Rhode Island. He's a good athlete. I like his athletic profile. He's good at finishing plays as a run blocker, solid footwork and pass protection, good hand placement. He's just a guy that overextends, takes a lot of bad angles, very raw in terms of his potential. This is a guy that allowed 29 pressures this past season. He's going to have to get better, but he's a true right tackle that I think could be a good depth piece, learn, develop. He's got the traits, got the length, developmental upside. He's going to be my pick here at 173 because, like I said, he can never have too many of these types of players, and I think Cornelius is the type of guy that they would like to develop. He can move well in the run game. He's got some pass protection potential, and at 173, I think he's worth investing in. With our final pick here at 177, I'm going to go take another corner, improve the secondary. I really like Upton Stout as a fit for this team. He's physical, he's aggressive, and they've got Teron Johnson there. Absolutely love him in that slot role. Behind him, you've got Cam Lewis. I like Upton Stout. I think he is a true nickel corner that does everything you want at the position. Good run defender, really fun athlete who ran a 4.44. He's strong, short area burst, change of direction. Really, really impressive. He can play cornerback. He can play safety. He can play nickel. Really versatile defensive back for you that has good physicality and is really smart in zone coverage. He's 5'8", 178 pounds, so he is a little bit smaller. Hasn't really had a ton of great plays on the football. Ball skills are limited, but man, this is a fun football player, and you're getting a guy that is a good depth piece and a good spot starter for you at 177. I think he makes a ton of sense. I'm going to go with Upton Stout to close this draft at 177. And like I said, I just love this player and think he's a perfect fit with what this defense wants to do. So there we have it, Buffalo fans. My 7-round Buffalo Bills mock draft. Very heavy on the defense. We only took 3 offensive players, but the defense was kind of the issue for them at times this past season. You get some help in the secondary, improve the defensive trenches. I love this draft for you guys, but I'd love to hear from you guys, Bills Mafia. What do you guys think? Do you like the draft? Do you not? Would love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. Leave a like on this video, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.